One of the interesting things I think, when you take a look at the different power adders and their pros and their cons, and the one thing that in some of our other shows we've heard different people talk about this with the prochargers specifically and pro mod coming on board. Do these blowers, from a tuner standpoint, give you something that's more manageable to apply power with? Is that like the big uptick on these, the big advantage?
I mean, some of the advantages to from what I've seen with like the 140 is since it first came out, they've made some mild modifications over time. It seems like it's a little more efficient than what it was. So the air inlet temperatures are down a little bit from when it was first introduced, and that's just kind of the nature of refining a good already good product. So anytime that air inlet temperature comes down, that means that it's running more efficient and taking less power to spin. So that's very critical in the centrifugal world. Doesn't matter what blower company it is. I mean, those air inlet temperatures are your enemy, and that is an indication of how much power it takes to spin in a lot of cases. So, like you can take a 121 and put it on a Hemi, a 136 put it on a Hemi, a 140 put it on a Hemi, and the temperatures may be difference of 150 degrees between those three blowers, and the boost numbers may be different by 15. By 150 degrees, and the boost may be 15 or so degrees different, or pounds different. But the horsepower may only be, you know, between a 140 and a 121 may only be, a couple hundred, depending on the cubic inch size, of the engine. So, one thing with this centrifugal blower that we really haven't discussed that's very, very important is you can get way too much cubic inch for a blower, or you can get way too big of a blower for cubic inch. So, for example, if you, like Andy Manson's, I run his, LDR car. I tune that car, and it's a very well-running car, but it's at the end of the day, it's a small block Ford. So right now, the biggest blower we've put on it is a 121. And the reason that is because as you go into the bigger blowers that take more power to spin, that creates a very inefficient product on the front for that engine. It doesn't mean the blower is junk, it means it's not a good match for the motor. So then your drive power goes up, and then your boost goes up, so the wear and tear on the engine goes up, and you're really not seeking any benefits. So, I know I'm rambling about a bunch of stuff, but that's something that a lot of people need to know. You just don't want a 140 if you've got a small cubic inch big block, or a big cubic inch small block. It may not necessarily be the best fit for what you're doing, because I can put a 130 on the car, and I can pick up 10 pounds of boost, but not pick up a single mile an hour. And that's because everything else is going up, drive power, temperatures, and all that, things of that nature.